What a dudes, boy crew here with another live stream for you guys. Today it is the Chelsea x AC Milan preview, and it is match day, guys. It is match day for the UK people. The game in it is in about 9 to 10 hours approximately. So I'm going to be giving you guys the preview for today's stream. We're going to discuss who should be starting, who shouldn't be starting. We're going to look at the previous game, and we're going to dictate who will ultimately be starting and what the score predictions will be. So let's roll the intro and let's get into today's stream. Let's go.
We fucking got him.
And we're back here, guys, with another live stream today. I hope everyone's having a good day so far. It is a match a day, ladies and gentlemen. So I appreciate everyone who's tuning in on the replay or watching live, guys. I appreciate every single one of you guys. But it's match day, guys. It's AC Milan. It's a good day. Second leg of the UCL. Obviously we just versed Milan last week. I didn't know. I was so shocked. I'm like, fuck, I completely forgot we're versing Milan again. And it's definitely a good game. Last game was fantastic to watch. We had a fantastic victory. Then come the weekend, we smashed Wolves 3-0 again. Back to back clean sheets and back to back 3-0. And I'm hoping for the same again. I'm really hoping for the same. We got Big Dead, Egabali, big up to you, my man. Hope you are well. Let me know your thoughts on the game, guys. We just got 5 people who just tuned in, guys. Make sure to smash that like button right now, guys. Smash that like button right now. Would appreciate every single one of you. But I want to get into it, guys. I want to look at the previous game. I'm going to put the previous game up on the screen. And I want everyone to react to it. And let's just look at kind of everyone's performances last game and then how we can use it in this game. We're Starboy now. So we got Starboy, long time no see, bro. Hope you are well. And look at this lineup from last game. And we saw it. And I think everyone's reaction from last game was, fuck, this is a shit lineup, right? But we knew it was going to be quite a bad lineup. I remember I saw it. I was like, all right, I'm not expecting anything big, but I wasn't expecting this. I wasn't expecting a massive overhaul change of Chalaba, even Aspie, Loftus, Pulisic, Gallagher. Like those massive players who weren't supposed to be in there. But this game showed us that coming into this AC Milan game, that we can now start a lot of these players. That I think a lot of these players proved that they can join this game. So, but I want to go back to the AC Milan game. Where is the AC Milan game? Well, we got Tomori and Begdad in here. We got Tomori. Hope you're well, my man. Big up to you guys. Let's do smash those like buttons right now. Well, this is the previous Milan game. Obviously, this was a very, very strong lineup. Maybe missing one or two maybe players here, but it was a very strong lineup. And I want to recreate the same lineup coming in to this game coming, but I don't want to use some of them, if you know what I'm saying. I want to use someone like, obviously, Koulibaly, but I don't want to use maybe someone like Loftus-Cheek, if you know what I'm saying. But we're going to dictate that soon, guys. But I want everyone to digest this lineup because Milan are going to have a very similar lineup. I think it was Krunic. Krunic is injured, but Hernandez is back, right? But they're rushing Hernandez, guys. Hernandez is not 100% fit, so they're going to rush him to come back. So he'll be on the left because I think that'll be Sandes, so I don't think he'll be on the right. But then we're going to have a bit more personnel there. But their keeper, I'm not going to pronounce it. I say Michigan because I don't know how to pronounce his name, but it's like, I don't know, something different. But he's not going to be starting either, and that's a massive, massive factor for us as well because he's a fantastic goalkeeper. So we are going to get a bit lucky once again, but it doesn't change the fact that Milan will still be a good team. I think last time Milan weren't the worst team when we played them. I think people underestimated them. I think that we played that good, that Milan were just horrendous. Take a team like Wolves, who I think was shocking, but Milan weren't the worst. They had some chances. They had a lot of possession. You look at the stat here. That pretty much had 50-50 possession. They had a lot of the ball as well. It's that we just played the better game. We just destroyed them to the fact that we scored 2 goals. We did our job. Right? Leao came off. Giroud came off at the 70th minute. They knew the game was over. Right? After that, they were in cruise control and we were just vibing. So there was no need to kind of push them to the limit. They were wanting to push it to the limit. So I don't think that Milan were that bad. I think we just played very, very well. But I want to come up to the title of this video, guys. Title of the video: Kepa Arrizabalaga is our number one keeper, guys. He's our number one, and I wanna bring up this article first. I want to bring up what my good friend Frank Carlett has to say, because I respect Frank Carlett. I think he's a fantastic guy, great guest we've had on the show. I've known him for many years. It's about 2 years now I've known Frank Carlett for. But I want to bring this up because this goes very unnoticed, and this is Kepa Arrizabalaga's player tribute that he did say, "I hope that people will get to know me, really know me, as a guy who has done all he can to help his teammates, because that is really why I'm here." This is a really strong statement. And then Frank Cullen adds to it, saying that I have experienced firsthand what an amazing person Kepa is. I am so grateful for him messaging me after my father passed away. Deserved all the success in the world. This is such a fantastic gesture from Kepa. And I've been saying this from the start. And I said this back in January, where I said, for me, if we're naming captains, I'll throw Kepa Arrizabalaga in this mix. I don't want him to be captain, but I'll throw that name in. Why? Because I think he's a born leader. You can't make leaders. They have to be born with it. And I've always said he helps teammates off the pitch. He's always vocal. And now we've been seeing it. Now the cameras are catching it. But I've been saying this for months, guys. I said it when I posted it on my old account. I got my old account back. And you know that clip of when Kepa was like telling the guys to attack? I wrote it as a meme. I'm like, the three managers telling the boys to attack. And it was Kepa, Anthony Barry, and Thomas Tuchel. And they're like telling him to attack. And I've always known. I was like, this is what Kepa's done. We've known it since the day that he didn't want to get subbed off. Right? That day when he never wanted to get subbed off, for me, was showing that Kepa knew he could do better. He knew he wasn't injured. Players have every right not to be subbed off. It's up to the manager if they want to sub him off. Right? Obviously, for me, I always said, if the manager really wanted him off, he would have grabbed his captain to push him off the pitch. Right? I wouldn't recommend players to do this, but it shows to me that Kepa really he really believes in himself, and he knew he could do it. Obviously he didn't, but he really believed he could have done it better than Caballero did. Right? So for me, that was a something that, it was kind of brought out of context. Right? How maybe the captain could have stepped in, the manager, and obviously John Terry goes on BT and goes, "Oh, I would have grabbed him by the ear." John Terry wouldn't have done shit, But actually, no, sorry, John Terry would have done that, and that would have showed actual respect of a captain. But our captain didn't do anything, and I've always said I think it's great he did that, and I think from that day we've known that Kepa is a player who really indulges in the sport. He really loves the sport, and he really loves helping people. He says in his quote, "I hope that people get to know me as a guy who has done all he can to help his teammates." But we got Hassan in the house. Pick up to Hassan. Love the thumbnail. I hope you're well. Big up to Hassan. Appreciate that, my man. Subboy says, "Yeah, people underestimate our performance. Call Milan poor." Yeah, like Milan were good. Like they had 50% possession. Kepa did a fantastic save. They had a couple good chances. Like they had some great chances. It was just we played very well. So I definitely wouldn't write Milan off tomorrow or today. Kepa is a class man, such good personality, and he has a great off the pitch mentality that he's always thriving to help others as well. And that's what I want in my captains. That people that you're more than you have to put the players first, right? It's like you put the players first before yourself. That's the duty of a first point captain. You've got to put the players ahead of yourself, right? And that's why you got to have a strong mentality. Like that's why I look at someone like Roy Keane, right? Who has an influence, or someone who who puts the players in front of themselves but still performs very well. Roy Keane for me is one of the best captains I've ever witnessed in my life, right? And I don't know if you guys remember, but I don't remember the exact game, but it was Manchester United, and the refs weren't coming out, so Roy Keane walks out, and the whole team follows. Right? That's what you want in a captain. You want a captain who has influence. Our captain gets our manager sacked. That's what our captain does. And I have discredit for him. I said, if Aspilicueta rings me up, I'm going to say, Aspilicueta, you're an absolute legend. But for me, you're not a captain. Because he's not. He wasn't a born leader, right? And for me, you can't train leaders. You have to be born with it. But on the topic of Kepa, guys, for me, Kepa is number one, right? Said it last year. You guys all know. but he's officially number one keeper. There is no way Mendy coming in beating this confidence. I think it'll be great to see Mendy come and compete, play those FA Cup games here, but Kepa deserves every single minute he goes in that pitch. People really, really underestimate this guy, and that's why I've really been trying to prophesize to the community. I've been trying to prop him up because he's just such an underrated player. And for people to call him the worst Chelsea transfer ever is actually shambolic, right? I think this guy's not worth 80 million. I never said he was worth 80 million. I don't think he knows he's worth 80 million. But that's Marina's fault for panic buying and, paying out his release clause, right? That was his release clause. It wasn't worth that. That was his release clause, right? We didn't want to negotiate with oh my god, what's the name? Atletico Bilbao, but we just paid the release clause because it was a panic buy. It was 2 days before the window. Right? So we paid the release clause, right? He's come in. He won the Europa League for us. He was a major part winning the Europa League for us. Remember, our first ever Europa League. Came in, won the Club World Cup. Because he got us into the stages to get there. He got us into FA Cup final. He got us in the Carabao Cup final. Played an FA Cup final. Lost in the penalties. City. Unfortunately, lost against Leicester. Played the Champions League games to win us the Champions League. Like, this guy's gone under the radar. And the last couple of years, I think 2020, he had a 19-20 season, he had a very bad spell. Very, very bad spell. Right? Frank Lampard, Kepa was horrible. Just like Frank Lampard Rudiger. Just like Frank Lampard Alonso. Just like Frank Lampard Jorginho. Right? Frank Lampard killed half our team. They absolutely killed him. The only player who was playing good in Frank Lampard's team was Mount, right? And then that shows it. Like, that's why Mount's not playing good now, right? But come 21-22, I think Tuchel changed it around. He gained more confidence. He gained the new misses, and big thanks to Andrea Martinez, who really brought the best out of him. And football's not just on the pitch quality. You got to make sure you have a mental, you got to have a mentally sane stability, because these players know how to keep, right? These players know how to kick a ball, right? It's just, can you get that level of confidence when you're playing in front of 40, 50,000 people? And that's the thing with football, right? In training, or you could be the best player there. You could be balling in training. You play against 15 of your mates who never played football in your life, right? You'll be amazing. You're banging goals. Once you go in front of that 40,000 people, that's when it matters. It's a lot more mentality. That's why we say, is this guy got the confidence? Because a lot of it is about confidence. Because these guys got to this level. Now it's about executing their confidence. And now Kepa's executed the confidence. He's going to become our main keeper for a long, long time. I see us at least maybe till next August having a conversation there, because we've got Gaga Saluna coming in. Great replacement for the future. Great youngster, right? But I don't want to rush him. He's 19. I honestly don't want him to be our number one to at least 21. Why? Because for me, there's no need to just rush a guy. Right, we've got Kepa here. Sal Mendy. Bring Gaga as our second. Gaga can play against Kepa. Maybe next August, if Kepa's value goes high, he wants to leave because his contract ends in 2 seasons. We can sell him. Right? But as of right now, Kepa is number one. We got Almighty Blues. We got the Ankith in the house. Big up to you. Hope you're well, bro. Let me know your thoughts and feelings on everything that's been going on in the community. And I want to bring this from Graham Potter as well. I'm bringing this quote from Graham Potter on Kepa. He says here, Potter on Kepa, I thought he did really well. It's important for us. At times we have to play out through the pressure, and it gives us a chance to attack the next line. So it's important. It's an important aspect to the team. I said this. I said it. Let me bring up the tweet. I said it. I said this is the reason why Kepa's going to start. We got people like Nini and Monster who just don't want to get it through their heads. It's like, take away the player and the price tag, and look at his qualities he performs. Right? Let me bring out the quote. This is what I said. I said a month ago, September 10th, exactly a month ago, I said, this is an example of why Graham Potter will use Kepa more of Mendy. The obvious reason here is Mendy cannot kick a ball whilst Kepa can, but it comes down to a bit more too. Kepa's confidence on and off the ball mirrors a similar style to Ryan and Sanchez. And what I meant by that is the way how Kepa can come and stand out here. And I put pictures here saying these pictures against Zagreb clearly indicates Kepa's ability to have confidence to receive the ball from half the pitch. Potter likes it as it allows constant possession in the opponent's half, meaning the centre backs don't need to drop deep. And you can see him pushing up to what it seems to nearly be the halfway line, and him being the confident last man on the ball. This is what Potter likes. And I said this, guys. I said this is what Potter likes. He likes this. He likes this constant attack from our keepers. He likes the constant pressure. He likes to have someone who, sorry, not someone. He likes to have a keeper who's confident to push up halfway from their box to the halfway line and receive the ball. And he's Kepa done that. That sweeper keeping. Let me see if I can find a clip of it where he had that sweeper keeper against Wolves, where he came out. It was like two guys pressuring him, and he came and kicked the ball. Right? Like, that's unbelievable. No one has anything here. Serious right now? Kepa Wolves. Nah, no clips. But guys, I'm telling you guys, trust me. When he gets that ring on his finger as well, he's gonna become even better. Because I've said, mentality drives performance. If you have a great mentality, you got a great off the pitch, you got great confidence. That's gonna drive your performance to play better on the pitch, right? And Potter says here, but ultimately the goalkeepers are there to save the ball for us as well, and he did that when he had to. So yeah, a really good game for us. I think if you look at it and you go, a keeper who can save the ball and a keeper who can kick the ball is a good keeper, correct? But if Edouard Mendy cannot kick a ball, he's no use in this team. I'm sorry, he might be a great. I've said it. Edouard Mendy. Right, I'll say this for the last time because I hate repeating myself, but no one wants to get through the head. You can't teach a player how to kick a ball at the age of 30. Edouard Mendy is a natural talent goalkeeper. What I mean by that is if you ever play football at school, right, you're playing a 8-on-8 game, right, and you got that one kid who's like 6'4", right, he's big, but he's never played football in his life. So where do you put him? Yeah, right, mate, go in goals, right? Use your hands, kick the ball, right? You pop him in goals, right? You got shooting, left wing, right wing, striker. They're all shooting at him, right? Nothing's getting past him, right? He's playing unbelievably good, right? But when it gets to his feet, yeah, it's a different story, right? But he's there to save the goals, correct? So he's saving left, he's saving right, he's saving center, right? He has that natural talent, right? But when you say to him, come out the box, try have your hands ready. When you teach him these professional qualities, right, that only professionals can indulge in, that's when it goes through Mendy's ear and it goes through right out. It doesn't stay in his brain. And that's why when you see Mendy having control on the ball, he can't do it. When you see Mendy trying to have reflexes, he can't do it. When you see Mendy's positioning, he can't do it. But if you shoot the ball 100 kilometers an hour at him, right at him, he'll save it. Because as a natural keeper and have the natural qualities, and the natural height, the natural arm length, the natural strength, you can save the ball. And I say this as well because he proved it. He didn't start his professional career till he was 26, right? His actually mother forced him to go back and play football when he was 26. He actually used to play on the streets of Paris with Ferland Mendy, who's his cousin, right? But he gave up football at an early age. 18, 19, gave it up. 5 years later, he got back into the game, right? So he hasn't had an extraordinary length of time to be as a youth player. So you can't teach someone like Edouard Mendy new tricks at an old age, right? Now let's look at Kepa's side. Maybe the negative is Kepa is he's a bit short, right? But can the guy be taught how to save better? Can the guy be taught how to kick better? Yes, he can. But he cannot change his height. Fair enough. But the problem with height is apparently he can't save long shots. He saved every long shot that's come at him this season, right? There's definitely some negatives that come to it. He's 6'1". Casillas was 6 foot. Matt Ryan, second best Australian keeper ever, 6 foot. Played for the same team Graham Potter played, but he left because Sanchez got better. But doesn't take away the fact he's still a good keeper. Guetta, I actually think is a fantastic keeper. 6'1". Right? There definitely is some defects that come with height. but at least you can train Kepa to improve. Now the argument is that they're both shit. That's what I'm hearing now. Because 6 months ago the argument was, oh, Mendy's better. But no, no, no. Now the argument is that they're both shit. But that's always been my problem with Edouard Mendy. Always. And that's why for me, he'll never make it into a top club. He had his little prime, he had his little debut, for that 6 months where he came in as a natural talent, plays a good couple games, but when the real test comes in a year later, he's not there, right? We had a great defense as well. We cannot forget that, right? No one wants to look at Mendy's 49% rate in 2021 or 2022 under the best and one in the same defense, but they compare Kepa's 2020 49% rate when we had a horrible defense, right? That's the difference. So Mendy for me, stinking up this pitch. I think we sell Mendy in this season. I'm all for it. Gaga Salina is done at Chicago Bulls. What's the team called? Chicago Bulls, I think. So he's done with that. So he's actually on the flight to come to England, and he might be starting. Maybe might see him in a couple of games or two. I'm not too sure. But let me bring this. I'll just bring this up while we discuss the next topic. Match day 4 in the Champions League. Milan away. We got Jorginho, Aubameyang, and David Silva on the sheet, the poster, whatever you want to call it. Because do make sure you smash those like buttons right now. What's everyone's thoughts and feelings on today's game, guys? It is starting very soon. I want everyone's thoughts and feelings, guys. Like the stream, subscribe if you're new. Let's talk Mount, guys. I want to talk Mount. I think Mount, guys, is it's a difficult one because it's the same thing happens time and time again, right? We saw this last season. Mount had 10 stinker games, comes against Norwich, bangs in a couple goals, right? And I've always said, Mount for me is a finished generational talent, right? Finished generational talent. He's not a finished player, but he's a finished generational talent. He's 24. He has not proved himself to be on the levels of a generational talent, of a world-class player. The only 3-class youngsters is players like, as an attackers, are players like Haaland, Mbappe, Vinicius Jr. Right? That's it. Mount is a bang average player. He's the English Willian. Right? Now, people want to compare Mount and Willian. Willian had Hazard next to him. Right? And Willian still banged in a lot of good goals as well. But he wasn't anything to put a statue outside the pitch for, Same thing with Mount, guys. Mount's not going to be this top-level player. I've said it from the beginning. Right? I want him to become a good player. I want him to become the next Frank Lampard. I want him to become this. But he's not. Like the same thing, we all want Reece James to become it. But Reece James has a higher percentage of doing so. But Mount doesn't. That's where the difference is. People try to compare Reece James to Mount. It's incomparable. You cannot compare Reece James and Mason Mount. So for me, I would sell Mason Mount in this game. Like, no doubt about it. But I don't want fans to get their hopes up. Because he did the same thing last season. Scored a goal, goes to 4 games, scored a goal, lost us the FA Cup final, scored a goal. It's inconsistent. He needs to keep this up. We have Super Tomori 2 says, what do you think about Pulisic? Pulisic is I actually really like Pulisic, but his ego has killed it. His personality and what he's wrote in that book and what he thought of Tuchel and all that shit, he's finished it. Because it's the same thing that happened to Lukaku, right? Their ego and their mentality killed the player, right? And that's in Pulisic. If he doesn't act out now, he's going to kill his players and kill his instinct to play, right? I don't want a player who doesn't want to not play for this club. If you don't want to play, just fine, leave. If you're not going to show up, leave. Like, if you don't want to play, but you're turning up week in, week out and putting, the best in and you're producing numbers, yeah, that's fine. I don't care. Like, I think Aubameyang doesn't really want to be here, but he likes it, right? Pulisic, you don't have to be here if you don't want to, but if you're going to put the work in, you're going to try, stay here. I don't care if you hate the club. Just do your job and go home, right? That's how I look at it. But Pulisic is a player, again, another one who's inconsistent. Like, coming next August, right? Coming next August, if Pulisic, single digits, Ziyech is already done. If these two have single digits, guys, the door's there. They have to leave. Mount needs to get like a lot more goals. That's what I'm gonna say. Mount needs to get a lot more GAs. Right? Mount got 2 assists on the weekend. Fantastic. Was he score a goal? No, he got 2 assists. 2 assists, great, fantastic. You played well as well, as good as well. Continue this, continue it. Right? People trying to compare him to Cruyff or ask for apologies. Apologies for what? The guy played one game, and he's played 10. He's played 580 minutes or 600 minutes. He's had 2 assists. Willian, pretty much the same. People want to bag Anthony Gordon, right? I say Anthony Gordon's rubbish, right? And he is. But Anthony Gordon has 2 goals. Hang on, did Mason have 2 goals, 2 assists? I don't remember. Mason, Minerals. Mason, man, how many goals is he on? He's on 0 goals, but how many of these assists is he on? I think so. That means he's on 2 assists. Three assists. 3 assists in 800 minutes, right? It's not good enough. It's not good enough to be as an average player. That's fantastic. Average player, good, but he's supposed to be this generational world class player that I'm hearing. That's what I'm hearing. Be able to Liam Lane in the house. Be able to Liam. Hope you're well, mate. Let me know your thoughts and feelings. So we're gonna get into the lineup soon, but I just want to discuss Mount, guys. Because as I said, I don't want fans to get their expectations high for Mount, right? Because he will turn up. He will do the same thing he did last season, right? Last season, don't say he was good. He was not good last season, right? If you say he's a generational player, you say he's a world class player, you have no right to say that he had a good season. Me, who calls him an average player, said he had a okay season, but he didn't deserve to have that player of the season award. There was no way he deserved that. There was no way, right? That's the difference. I'm gonna repeat myself one more time. If you think Mason Mount had a good season last season, right, and you identify him as a world-class, generational Cruyff talent, that's where you're wrong. You're delusional. You're stuffed in the head. But if you're like me, who think he's an average at best player, he's decent, right? Not calling him anything special. He comes, does his job, leaves. I say he had an okay season. I said I wouldn't sell him. Honestly, I wouldn't sell him. But if an offer came, I would consider it, but I wouldn't sell him. I wouldn't force a sell, right? But if an offer came, I would consider it. But I still wouldn't give them play of the season, like a lot of these delusional Mount fans would, right? So there's Chelsea fans and then there's Mount fans. You got to be honest with your players, guys. You can't be coming here and just trying to defend them all the time. It doesn't work like that, guys. But yeah, Pulisic, Mount. If they continue this, then I would consider selling them. But yeah, it looks like we have a lot of the old guys coming in. So I'm gonna pop like Aubameyang, Jorginho, and Silva playing tomorrow. But let me get the lineup up right now. Can use FIFA 23. It's 23, guys. Get the likes up as well, guys. Get these likes up right now. Are you serious right now? There it is. How do I Buddha? Alright. Let's start in goals, guys. In goals, you already know what it is. Kepa Arida Balaga is in goals. 80. I thought what was his FIFA 22 rating? Remember FIFA 22 rating. 79. Oh, he actually went up one. Kepa actually went up a rating. That's actually quite good. Yeah, he went up one. Okay. Still the same stats though. But he got that 80 rating. Not bad, not bad. But you guys, I would obviously there's no discussion, guys. Kepa is instantly starting for me. They're like he's at number one, guys. Like I've been putting him in since January. Now the time's finally here. Like I put him in and he starts. Like I don't need to wish for anymore. Starting tomorrow, fantastic. On the right, actually, wait, we gotta change this formation. We want to change the formation right here. 3-4-3. All right, centre back. So I would put Chalobah. I'll put Chalobah. I think Chalobah definitely did decent last game. I think he replicated a Fofana replacement, and I think he upheld that very well. And I will definitely give him another shot. I will not start Aspie over him. I said that back in the summer. I will not. I will keep Chalobah for depth, but I will not start Aspie ever over him, ever. In the middle, ooh, Thiago Silva. Oh, yeah, another. She's like, is this Back to the Future card or whatever it's called? I don't know. But stock standard, guys, if Thiago's fit, he starts. I think we rested him last game for him to start this game. Great game from Son. He was on that poster, so we most likely be seeing him. On the left for me is Koulibaly. 87. Wow. Big rating. Again, I think Koulibaly's been quite good for us. I wouldn't say he's been, like a world class 50, talent, but I think he's done very good for us. I said I gave him like a 6.5. I think there's some faults there, but it can easily be fixed. But I think he's done very good for us, and I think again, maybe Potter's, put the flame back on to the fire. We're starting to pick up again, and hopefully we continue it. On the left, guys, I said it, guys. I would not start Chua. Cucurella's ever fit. Oh my god, what's his name? Cuca. Oh, you are. I would not start Chua if Cucurella is fit. I made that very clear because I think Cucurella is a more balanced player. Right, I think Chua has some great attacking abilities, but even that, it's not the best. Right, I don't see him make that forward risky pass anymore. His crosses are quite rubbish. Like Cucurella is more of a he's like, oh, he's there. He's always there. He's firm with his passes, firm with his crosses. He takes the risks. He definitely drops back. And we already have that attacking threat from Reece James. I don't need another one on the left-hand side with Chilwell. I'd rather have a Cucurella who's much more balanced, a much better defender, and can attack as well. Like, we mustn't forget, Cucurella is a very, very good player. And I've said I would start him over Chilwell any day. And it's not that Chilwell is a bad player. He's a fantastic player. But I don't think he's above Cucurella right now. Maybe in the future. This is why we bought Cucurella for competition, right? Chua starts Saturday, Cucurella Tuesday. Chua Saturday, Cucurella. We just keep switching him, So I would start him, and if ever of the centre backs may not be fit, and maybe say Chalobah hasn't been playing well, then Cucurella can play left centre back and Chua left wing back. But right now, I think Chalobah is playing quite well, and I think he deserves a start. So I will put him in, and I'll put Chua to have rest. But sure, man, that link up was horrendous. Oh my days, that was so bad. Was it against Milan last week? I think it was. But that link up between Chilwell and Mount was, fuck, that was rubbish. That was rubbish. So I'm wanting to see more Cucurella because he takes those risks, right? And his left foot is much more of has an oomph to it, Like it'll get to the player, get to his feet. Right? I prefer Cucurella, me personally, right? People might prefer Chilwell, that's fine. The manager might prefer Chua, that's fine. But me personally, Cucurella starts for me. I think he's a baller, fantastic player in the pitch for me. Um. So also let's go. Right wing back. Stock standard, mate. Nothing changes here. Reece James on the right. Like this guy. This is a real generational talent, guys. This is a real player who's a real generational talent, right? This is the guy who's going to win us trophies. This is the guy who's going to be starting every week and week out. This is the guy who's going to help us get to the top. This is a proper player, guys. He's an absolute phenomenal player, right? And he starts in any day of the week. He starts. Man, I think you should start uploading consistently how you're trying to grow. Do a news update video every day, go through Twitter and talk that's been said about Chelsea. Yeah, no, I appreciate that stuff, but I just don't have time. Like now, now the times have changed. So now it's 8:40 for me. I used to stream back at 7, and that was a much better timing because I can go like 'cause I used to go stream and then gym, but I'm not gonna go gym at 9:30. And for the games, that's at 6 a.m. tomorrow. I have to sleep early, but I just don't have time. I don't have time, but I will. Like right now, from October to probably December, it'll be staggered. But once January hits for the window, I'll stream a lot in January because I have a lot of free time then. But yeah, it's just that I don't have time. It's whenever I'm pretty much free. Like I couldn't do the review, which I had planned on Sunday because I got called into work last minute. It's like, and I work nights, so it's all over the place. It's pretty much whenever I'm free. But yeah, potential. That's why I'll say yeah. Big up to you, Star. But always appreciate the feedback. But yeah, I normally hop on like other streams, and obviously after stream when like no one else is streaming, so I stream before Chelsea perspective, and I stream after Miz. So normally kind of like it correlates there. Videos. I like to just do streams because I get to interact with chat. Because a lot of videos doesn't get a lot of views, but maybe I might do some more videos. I did that video for the World Cup, Little Baby song, which I think Little Baby didn't like my reaction because I think he took down the video. But my video that is, and yeah, maybe I might do some reaction videos or live video. Yeah, I might be able to do that. Chelsea, well, you don't have time, but you go all over YouTube to slander Mendy. I don't slander Mendy. I don't slander Mendy. And this is the thing. This is the thing with fans. Now that I've won, now that I've got my victory, people come and now blame and say, "Oh, you're disgusting talking about Mendy." I was always for Kepa. Did people forget how much I propped Kepa and why I propped Kepa? And I want to bring this. Let me bring this quote back up because this people really need to see and this quote and why I really like this player. Why I've been propping this player, right? That this for me, that Frank Carlett, a good friend of mine, who said that he has experienced firsthand what an amazing player person Kepa is, and is so grateful that Kepa messaged him after his father passed away. Right, that for me is a player messaging a fan. After that's fantastic for me. How grateful, you know, uh, Frank is, and definitely how much Kepa is grateful of Frank. And Kepa's always said that he hopes people get to know me as a guy who can do all they can to help. Right? It's not slandering Mendy. It's being in favor of Kepa. And in doing that, you have to get rid of the other guy. And I've always said Mendy's rubbish. You cannot sit here and tell me Mendy's been a good player. If you have, you're lying to yourself. Because Mendy's been rubbish, guys. Mendy's been horrible. And this is the best for Chelsea. It's the best thing for Chelsea. I'm a Chelsea fan first. And I've said, Mendy's not all that. Kepa's a player who needs to come in. And look what's happened, guys. Kepa's came in and he's shown skill. And yeah, when I go on other stream, guys, I'm only there for 10, 20 minutes. Like, you'll see me there 10 minutes on Lewis's channel, 10 minutes on Football Terrace, because I just jump in and I leave because I don't like to stay for too long because it's always so late for me. That's why I don't stream at that time because it's too late. Like, I'll jump on Lewis's for 15 minutes or Gems for 10 minutes. I don't join it for too long. But back to the lineup, guys. Double pivot CDM. I would go Jorginho. I think. See, I don't even know if I would start Jorginho. You know what? You know what I'll do? Potter's not going to do it, but I would start Zakaria. I want Zakaria to start. I want Zakaria to start. I want us to buy this guy at the end of the summer. I want him to start. Why do I want Zakaria to start? Because I think this guy has proper potential. And I don't want to go and end up panic buying and going buying Basmati rice for £400 million. Right? I want a loan player to end up working out for us, like Kovacic did. And I want that man to be Zakaria. So I want him to start as early as possible. Kepa's been rubbish and cost 72 million. We mustn't forget, 72 million was his release clause. He's not valued at that, right? And he won us our first ever Europa League, got us into the Carabao Cup, FA Cup, Club World Cup final. He played in the Champions League, which made us win it, and he supports our players on and off the pitch. And now we're seeing, again, Kepa's age like fine wine. He's 28. This right now, 28 to 32 could be his prime, right? So we're seeing the best version of Kepa, and this is the best time to see it, when he's re-established himself at life, and he's got his full focus on Chelsea. Because remember, under Frank Lampard did not respect Kepa of his personal problems. So what did Frank Lampard do? He benched him, shamed him, interviews, Caballero this, Caballero that, and then Kepa lost confidence. Now he's getting confidence. Look how good he's gonna do, right? And we all want the best for Kepa, and he has not been rubbish for us, and he's not the worst signing for us. The worst signing for us are players like Bakayoko and Lukaku and all. Like this guy's been in our team for like years. Like Alonso is not even one of our worst signings, because Alonso was a great player the year we won the league because he played a part in that, right? He was the first to develop the stage. He was the best wing back in the world. Right? He was the first to start and evolutionize the wing back position. Right? So you're calling Kepa a trash player is a disgrace because he's done a lot for us. But back to lineup. Next is I want to start Zakaria and I want to start Kovacic next to him because Kovacic, I think, again, he's probably our best midfielder here. And Zakaria, I don't think Jorginho is fit enough. I really think Jorginho. I've said Jorginho for me. Jorginho is one of my favorite players. Right, I respect players, and that's why I love Kepa. That's why I love Jorginho because how much they respect the club they play for, how much they respect the players. Right, I see videos, countless videos of Jorginho, tactically talking to players, thanking fans. I don't see any of this from Azpilicueta, our supposed captain, right? Jorginho's put himself through so much on the pitch that I think he's physically drained his body. His body cannot take it. I know he doesn't have a strong body, because I can tell. And I think it's best to leave on a high note, and I think I think that's the end for Jorginho. And that's why I want to start Zachary, because I want to implement him as soon as possible, right? I don't want to be here in January and Zachary hasn't touched the pitch. World Cup's in a month. He's going to be going to Switzerland for the World Cup, right? We need to start him. As I said, I want to start Zakaria because I want Zakaria to be a player that we can end up buying because I want our loans to work out. I don't want to waste time and money. Loans, guys, the point of loans is for the club to end up buying him at this type of age. Look, maybe Callum Hudson-Odoi, who's more of a developing stage, right? Even that, they're trying to end up buying him, right? Zakaria, the point of a loan, in our view, is to end up buying him, right? Saul, I honestly think we could have shaken Saul's hand and say he was a great player, a great loan player for us, right? If he started more. That's the problem with Zakaria. He needs to start more. And I don't care what game it is. I don't care if we're playing Real Madrid tomorrow. I'll start him. I don't care, right? I think we've got a great team. I think it's the best time to start it because I don't see us going into the Premier League on the weekend and starting him. What am I seeing Zakaria in the line? Big up to Princeton. Man, Zakaria is not starting any games as of now. He hasn't played for a very long time. And that's the thing. I would take the risk of starting him because I don't want to force Jorginho on this pitch, right? I've always said I don't think Loftus-Cheek is good enough. I think he has these rebound games, but fate will come where he'll continue to be poor. But he's playing good recently, but I wouldn't start him. I think it's time for we implement someone like Zakaria. Or we bring him off the bench. I'm fine with bringing him off the bench. I just want him to start. Because I want these loan players to be given a very, not, I want to say fair, but a valued time at Chelsea where they can prove themselves. I'll repeat myself. Saul, if started a bit more, would have been a great loan. We would have shaken his hand and we would have gone, great, done fantastic for us, Saul, but off you go. But I don't want us to, slow on Zakaria. Zakaria is a great player. He's got a great physique. 85 physicality. I know it's a FIFA card. But he's got a fantastic physicality. He's like 6'3". How many trophies has Mendy won for the short time he's been at Chelsea? You must respect Mendy. I respect Mendy for what he's done. I said if Mendy came to me right now, I'll shake his hand. I go, Mendy, thank you for what you've done. You played for the badge. You won fantastic trophies. But as of right now, you've been horrendous for us since February of 2022. And part of it isn't his fault. He should have got dropped. And I've been saying that Mendy has been a great player for us, but he shouldn't have been dropped. I don't disagree. I said Mendy was here to replace Kepa, but guess what? Players can come back. Players can get revived. We saw that with Jorginho. We saw that with Alonso. We saw that with Rudiger, right? We saw that everyone under Fat Frank, because Frank Lampard, for me, as a manager, was a disgrace. And I've said it multiple times. He was a disgrace as a manager, right? I wish he never joined us that early. I have a very high respect for Frank Lampard as a player, but as a manager, he was never my manager, right? I wanted him sacked because for me, I put football first. I'm not a tribalistic fan. I don't think of Frank Lampard and go, "Oh, Frank Lampard, he played for us. We must give him more time." Blah blah blah. If we're losing so many games, sack the guy, right? I don't know. People got sad and all that, but like with Tuchel, I was very sad with Tuchel, but these two different managers to compare. Number one, but players can get revived. And Kepa is at this age where I've said he can get revived. Mendy cannot get revived because Mendy's a natural talent. Honestly, no. Go back 20 minutes. I discussed this. Why Mendy's a natural talent goalkeeper and cannot be taught how to kick a ball at the age of 30. Right? I'll say it briefly. The way Mendy gets trained is the coach will say one thing through the left ear and it goes right out to the right. It doesn't get embedded in his head because he's not a professional athlete. He's a natural talent goalkeeper. But you can go back and look at what I meant by that. Up front, I'm gonna go with Aubameyang. I'm going blood clot young. Yeah, Aubameyang starts for me. I think Havertz comes on 60th minute. If Aubameyang bangs in a goal, great. But Aubameyang starts. Whatever game it is, Aubameyang starts. I don't care if Havertz scored last game. Aubameyang starts, right? Like, this shows that Havertz, you've been great, fantastic. Maybe come in next week, but you need to keep performing more. We can't give for me, we can't give presents to people who have done one job, right? Your job's to turn up and score one goal. You do that for one game. Doesn't mean you deserve to start the next game, right? We've got better players. We've got better players on the pitch. And for me, Aubameyang's a better player than Havertz, right? But Havertz is still a great player. He can probably come on in the 60th minute and change the game. Who knows? But Aubameyang starts for me. Sterling on the left. Oxen, if Sterling's ever fit, Sterling starts. We rest him last game. Great idea. And yeah, we'll see your reaction when Kepa starts dropping 0-10. Again, why would you want that from a player? Like, why would you want to see my reaction when he does? Like, why would you want to see that? What if he becomes a 10 out of 10 like he is right now? Like, right now, you're in the mud because he's playing a 10 out of 10. And why would you want your player to play bad just for your satisfaction? Like, for me, I come out and I admit when I'm taking my L's. All right? I've said Gallagher, I said he's a finished player, but he came and scored a couple of goals. I want these players to prove me wrong. I want men to come in and play a fantastic game. But you fans, like these Mason Mount fans, you probably wrote Mason Mount, right? Probably have the 2 stars in your Twitter bio, and you just come in and it's just about all your agendas. Like, oh, Mason Mount this, Havertz this. You don't be honest with your players. I've always been honest with my players. I've said Kepa's disadvantage is maybe he is his height, but he can get worked by doing this, this, and this, and this, right? There's always a positive to a negative, but the thing with these a lot of these Chelsea fans is they never look at the negative and admit it, right? You look at maybe like Thiago Silva, you go Thiago Silva's a 10 out of 10, fantastic, no doubts. But what about his age? What about this? What about that? What about that? What about? You don't look at the other side of the coin. You just look at one side, right? And you got to look at all sides. But what was I saying? Right wing. I think Mount starts because I think that's the only kind of player we have there. It's the same thing with like last season. Like, oh yeah, we have to start Mount. It's the only one who's there. Again, there's no one. Yeah, I think Mount's the best player in that position right now. I think maybe not Mount, maybe Havertz, but there is a lot of competition there. Pulisic, Gallagher, Havertz. It's just the manager needs to start dropping Mount when he has shambolic games. Like we're not going to see him. I mean, I hope we see him banging more goals. Like, fantastic. Go and score 3 goals tomorrow. Like, people think I want Mason Mount to flop. No. I'm just being honest with you guys. I've said Mason Mount's a bang average player. He's not anything generational. But prove me wrong. The way you prove me wrong is playing on the pitch and score more goals and assist more goals and play like he did last week every single game. Because 3 assists in 11 games is definitely good enough. So do many a bad game, you got different YouTube channels to send them in, and that's how you support a player. I don't pick and choose when I want to go. This thing, I don't pick and choose when I go on Chelsea fan channels. I go whenever I'm free. But people need to get that. People have been saying this to me. They go, "Oh, you only come on when Kepa has a clean sheet." No, I'm only on when I'm free. I don't pick and choose the games. Like, I came on the Zagreb game when Kepa conceded. I came on the Salzburg game. And I came on the 2 games he got clean sheets. And I came on for 6 months when he wasn't starting. I came on when Mendy had a good game. I come on whenever I'm free. to get that myth out of your head. And I supported a player because I see potential in this player, and I was proven right. You could have your questions when he wasn't on the pitch, but now he's come on the pitch and he's shown levels, right? So I've been proven that I'm right. That Kepa coming in would practically play better than Mendy on this form. Then in hindsight, we hope that Mendy can gain more confidence to come back and compete with Kepa. That was always my contention. My contention was always to start Kepa to replace Mendy so Mendy can gain competition because the guy needs to be humbled. That was always my contention. People just always try to take it out of context all the time. Hey Mendy, blah blah blah, this and that, this and that. Like, I'll say once again, my contention was always that in February, Kepa needs to start because Mendy is not a world class goalkeeper, and keepers like this, like we look at Newcastle had I don't know pronounce his name, I think it was Carlo. Oh, what's the Newcastle keeper name? Not Pope, the other one, Newcastle keeper. Carlo, and they had Dubrica. How do you pronounce his name? But they had them two, and they kept switching him. Right? They continue to switch him. Southampton, now they're switching him as well. Like because we don't have a world class keeper. Like we don't have an Edison, we don't have an Allison. People try to compare that Edison and Allison can be compared to Edward Mendy. No, they can't. Edward Mendy's on the level with like Jose Sa and like Guetta and like Henderson, like them man, right? He's compared to them. And when these keepers have a bad game, they get dropped. Not after one, but when they have 4 or 5 bad games, they get dropped. Right? So if Allison or Edison did that, they wouldn't because they're world class keepers. Mendy's not a world class keeper. We can't compare him to that. Yeah, I just said Mendy was a bad, but the thing is, Mendy is a bad player right now. You can't see here rubbish, bad, finished. It all means the same thing. Like what I said's not wrong. Maybe the way I said it was bad, but what I said was not intentionally wrong. I can say the sky is blue, or I could say the sky is fucking blue. It doesn't change the fact that the sky is blue. What I said is the same thing. So, yeah, you comment and say that. Like, this man's here to stay, he's here to play. I've said it multiple times, like, you guys want to try and get Kepa out of the pitch. It's going to be hard because he's there. He's our number one. He's the number one right now. But yeah, my score prediction for tomorrow as well, guys. I'm going to say, I say 2-0. So 2-0, guys. But actually, no, let me just recap this lineup. So the reason why I'm putting Zakaria, because people are wondering me why Zakaria. I said Zakaria for me needs to start a game, right? Needs to start. And the game, for me, the ideal game would have been the Wolves game, but I don't think he was fit, right? Now maybe I wouldn't start him, but maybe I would bring him on. But the thing for me is, who would I start here? I don't know who I would start because I wouldn't force Jorginho to start because Jorginho, as I said, he's put his body through so much that for me, I don't think he deserves. Not deserve, but I wouldn't start him. Simple as that. I wouldn't start Jorginho. I don't think he should be starting. I think he's really drained himself. I think he's played a lot of games, and I think he needs to be rested for a long time. And when comes summer, we can maybe push him out. But yeah, as of now, our only other proper CDM that there is Jorginho. Sorry, is Zakaria. And as the only CDM that's there, Zakaria for me should start. But let's see what happens. I mean, I'm not going to be fast whatever Potter puts out. I think we can definitely count on players like Dago Silva, Reece James, Kepa. But a lot of we'll see with the other 10. I don't know what's going on with Zakaria. Reports from top journalists, he was meant to start for Tuchel and Ben Jorginho. Now look at this shit. You can't even get a minute. And the thing is for me, Baba, big up to you, Baba. But the thing is for me is this is a Todd Boehly fault, right? I've said Todd Boehly's a flip flop. Todd Boehly does not know what he's doing, right? He's all over the place, right? He comes in. I said as soon as he walked through the Chelsea door, he should have made his decisions as soon as possible. He should go. I wanted to make an academy. I want to sack Marina. Check Tuchel. I want to start again. But he made that decision after he invested 300 million to Tuchel. Didn't replace Marina and Czech, right? And then found this little niche when the window was like in mid-August or September. That's when he found his niche in like August. Oh yeah, our goal is to make a youngster. That's why we're stacking Tuchel. Like he didn't have a proper plan, right? That's why I said he's a flip flop, and that's why for me, why did we sign Zakaria if Tuchel was going to get sacked weeks before Zakaria got even signed? Because apparently Tuchel was supposed to get sacked after the Arsenal preview, preseason, but we signed Zakaria on deadline day. Doesn't make sense. It does not make sense to me. That's what I've said. Why is Zachary even here? If he's a Tuchel signing, right? That's fair. But then why did Boehly give Tuchel $300 million, and why did he give him a player like Zakaria if he didn't want him? So there's two factors to this. It makes zero sense. It makes absolutely zero sense. Like why can't this guy should be starting? I said if this was Tuchel, right? Tuchel would have started. Okay, hang on. Let me start again because that was going to come out wrong. But let's say someone like Tuchel, half the players like Saul, Lukaku, he didn't want, but he still started them, right? Potter needs to start doing the same. Start Zakaria, get the best out of him, even though it's not his player. Start him, right? Come on. And what Kepa do as well? It costs 72 minutes. On the other hand, we want you to go to the football terrace and call him out as you do for many. I did. Go to the Zagreb game. I said on the Zagreb game, I said on the football terrace, I said I expected Kepa to say that. I said on the Dynamo Zagreb game, I said I think Kepa had a decent game, but I expected him to say that. But it was his first game in 6 months. I've kept it exactly honest. I stand to what I say. I said on the Zagreb game, I'll repeat myself. I said I think he should have saved that shot, right? But I think he misjudged it, assuming Aspie could have defended. Right? I had him up to I held him accountable to his actions. Yeah, no, Zachary won't start, but yeah, Loftus bum cheeks. Yeah, Loftus claps men's cheeks. That's what I call him. Loftus claps men's cheeks will be starting. Like it's like I don't mind this form of like this Loftus cheek, but it's the same thing. He's done this since like his Sarri days. Sarri, he plays 4 good games, flops. Right? Lampard had 2 games, flops. We sell him or loan him. Tuchel had a great week and a half, flops. Right? It's the same thing with Loftus cheek. Right? We're not gonna get anything new. Right? We've seen it. We've been there. We've done it. Right? Yes, that he might be. Like it just pisses me off. It pisses me off because this guy's a good player. Like he's not even a bad player. He's not like a Saul. This guy's an actual great talent. We were looking at him when he was at Mönchengladbach. At Mönchengladbach, we were looking at him and we were like considering buying him. How old is he now? He's 20. Like he's 25. Give him a shot this season. Let's see how he does. This guy is an absolute he's a monster. He's a massive player. Like I don't know why we didn't start him. Give him a shot. See how he turns out. If he flops, yeah, fuck it, sell him. Like, but if he doesn't, great. No, but yeah, again, I don't get it. I don't get it. So I don't get it. Is it a Tuchel signing? Is it a Boehly signing? Was it a panic buy? I don't know what it was, but I don't know. That's what I said. I'll put him in this lineup because I want him to start. If he comes on, that's great, but he needs to start getting minutes. And once he gets on that pitch, he needs to prove himself as soon as possible. Academy player, he came from 2 established clubs. He was just a Juventus. I don't get it. Don't get it. Speak on Zachary on the terrace next time, bro. He needs to start. I will. I'll discuss it because it's not just me. It's really it's a lot of Chelsea fans, and I think me and Prime. No, who was it? It was me and Carlito. I think it was Carlito or Prime. One of us. We went on Lewis's and we went on Sadiq's Worldwide Chelsea. And we're discussing on Worldwide Chelsea. And me and Carlito to always every day we always talking about Zachary needs to start. Right? And then you're right, he's come from 2 established clubs, right? He's not a finished player. Like he's 25. How old was Saul? Saul was how is Saul at what's his name? Saul was 27. He's gonna be 28 now, right? Zachary's gonna be 26, so they're about the same age, right? Zachary was a baller at Mönchengladbach. Juventus fans. I spoke to 3 Juventus fans. They told me that, and they also the same thing. Zakaria was a great player. Allegri didn't want to use him, and unfortunately, injuries got the best of him. Right? We need to give these guys a chance. It pisses me off. Why we're not giving these guys a chance? You're exactly right. They're established players. This is not a Chukwuemeka. Actually, it was great to see. I thought to discuss that. It was great seeing Chukwuemeka on this pitch, but Chelsea fans need to stop getting ahead of themselves. Right? Chukwuemeka comes on for 20 minutes, and it's like that he instantly deserves to start the next game. No, it doesn't work like that. Players like Zakaria needs to come and start and play that 20 minutes and prove himself like Chukwuemeka is doing, right? But he's not even making the bench. I saw him in training as well as Zakaria on that training the other day as well, so he should be starting. Was he on the bench? Wolves? No, I don't think he even was. I think me and Khalida were upset about that. Yeah, he wasn't even on the bench. It makes zero sense. Journalists in the conference meeting are too busy asking questions. Oh, those journalists! Oh, they piss me off. Oh, really? Their questions are so bad. But again, I think like they have to ask those type of questions. Like they can't ask, oh, why is Mason or like why is Jorginho like not playing? Oh, I don't know. I'm using an example of a really bad player. Oh, why is Loftus Cheek playing shit? Like, why is Chalobah bad? Like, why is Thiago Silva not playing? Like, I don't think they can really ask those questions. It's more trying to be as politically correct as they can. Oh, Potter. So how was the guys at training today? Were they like really good? Oh, yeah, they were fine. Oh, great. So what's the update on N'Golo Kante? Like we give a shit, but what's the update on N'Golo Kante? How's Ziyech doing? Is he fit enough to play? Like, we don't care about Ziyech. Ask me the question if Zakaria, a player who hasn't touched his pitch. They haven't mentioned one word about Zakaria. Again, these journalists are stupid. I don't think I don't know. I don't think it's definitely not a race agenda. It's a preference agenda. Like they'll rather discuss more about Mason Mount, and Reece James as well. Mason Mount, Reece James, and like Aspie than they will about players like Zakaria or when who else there right now? Maybe a Cucurella. It's because it's just like they're common London guys. They prefer to talk about their own. But I don't definitely not anything about a race. But they need to ask those questions. Mohammed says Milan will be stronger with Hernandez and Theo Hernandez back. Yeah, definitely. And I said last time Milan weren't even that bad of a team. I think we just played very good. And I'm not running enough tomorrow at all. Right? I think tomorrow maybe we get a 2-0 win, but it's gonna be the same. Like we're at San Siro as well. Like I think for the last time ever. But yeah. Also the 30-minute buyback clause. How do you activate that for Dennis Zachary to prove himself if he's not given exactly? That's the thing. Like for me, my intention of bringing a loan player is to end up buying him, right? With whatever loan player it is, our intention is to buy him. If you say otherwise, I don't know what you're thinking. But every time you sign a loan player, your intention is to end up signing them for long term, right? We need to give this guy a chance so we can consider should we buy him for 30 mil. I want this guy playing continuous games, and I want him in because I know Jorginho is not physically fit. Jorginho, what a player he's been for us. Fantastic player he's been for the last 2 years. But this guy, unfortunately, has put his body through so much that I think it's breaking apart. He's getting too old. Like last game we saw the guy was getting injured left, right, center. Like I think he's just too old. I think he's put his body through too much. I think he's still playing on painkillers. But it's like Jorginho is not playing, not physically fit right now. We need to start our next CDM. And our next CDM in line is Zakaria. And I don't get why managers can't get through their head. Even Tuchel did that. Like Tuchel never wanted to drop the regular players. How can a player prove himself for playing 20 minutes? Football isn't computer games. That's why we're saying get Dennis for to start him. That's why we're saying we need to keep starting him. We need to play him for 20 minutes this game, 40 minutes next game, start him against the next game. And then for the next until the World Cup starts, maybe for all we know, this guy can start being a first team player. Like there's only one way to find out. Play like Chukwuemeka, right? We've got years to find out. We've got this guy for years, right? And he's an 8 as well, Chukwuemeka. Zacharia's a 6. Zachary can play as a 6, and Chukwuemeka can play with him on the left, right? It's great how Potter's putting players like Chukwuemeka. I'm all for it. But he needs to start putting these players like Zakaria, who's only here for a limited time, and a limited time for us to test out if we want to buy him for the long term. My prediction is 2-0. How the hell does Carney since Gallagher start and got game time way before him? I'm all for players like Gallagher and Chukwuemeka starting, but it's like, why isn't Zachary even making the bench? Like, why is he injured? Nothing's there. I'm fine. Like, Gallagher and Carney are 8. Zachary is a 6. Zachary should be the next in line for Jorginho. No, he was on the bench. He was in training the other day, so I want him to. He should be in this next Milan lineup. Yeah, but I don't want him playing Carabao Cup games. Like Carabao Cup games, yeah, that's great. But like, I want to see him in the UCL. I want to see him like against teams where he can consistently play. If he plays Carabao Cup Monday and then Wednesday he plays UCL, that's fine. It's not about the game he plays and such. It's about how many games he can play. I want him to have some big minutes on him, right? And as I said, this is the best time to do it because when you got to play like Jorginho, who is not playing the best and is physically not fit, the next in line is Dennis Zakaria. But yeah, I really hope he can start tomorrow. Honestly, I really hope he can start. I know he won't, but like I hope even him just coming on, come on for 20 minutes, 30 minutes. Maybe he was supposed to come on, but maybe because what's his name? He was on the bench. They put Chukwemeka. Let's see if there's any last thoughts before we wrap up here. Nah, I think that's it for today, guys. That's all the news I've got. I'm just refreshing Twitter. There's nothing there, guys. So, guys, do make sure to smash that like button right now. Guys, subscribe if you are new. Who is live? Who can we send you guys? Chess Perspective has just hit that like button. Let's put him up here, guys. Yeah, guys, I'm gonna say 2-0. I'll be back here. What game do we have next? Play Monday. Oh, Sunday. Oh, El Clasico's on as well Sunday. Oh, fantastic. Okay, so I'll be back, guys, probably on. Oh, nah. I won't be back, guys, till next Monday, guys. I'll be back next Monday. For the review on Aston Villa. I'm gonna skip the 2 reviews and previews because I don't think I'll have time. Maybe I can fit a video in, guys. But that's all for today's stream. I hope everyone did enjoy. What do we leave with, you guys? Let's leave it with the one, the only Kepa Arida.
Kepa Arrizabalaga.